What's up, guys? It's Pat Daley from TrueTransient.com. A week ago, I announced that I'll be canoeing to Mexico from New York City, 2,600 miles via the Intracoastal Waterway. I've received a lot of questions. Turns out, when you tell people you're canoeing to Mexico, they have questions. Who would have thought? This is a Q&A. I'm going to get right to it, answering your questions about canoeing to Mexico, my journey that I'll be embarking on August 1st. Jake Sims asks, why canoeing and not kayaking? That's a great question, one I've been getting a lot. There's a practical reason for this. Kayaks are faster and can cut through water and waves easier, but canoes are more stable and can hold more supplies. So this is gonna be an over 6-month journey, so I need supplies, and a canoe is perfect to keep those supplies within it. I also think the stability aspect of a canoe is attractive. Also, canoes are just unique, man. Like, they're just different, you know? I equate it to crossing the United States with a VW bus versus a Toyota Tacoma. The VW bus is the canoe and the Toyota Tacoma is the kayak. There's a slight difference there. I like my journeys to be unique and different, and that's what's different about this one. So I'm choosing a canoe. This is just a general question I've been getting. Are you crazy? You're going out to sea in a canoe? I'm not going out to sea in a canoe. I'll be along the Intracoastal Waterway. Granted, 10% of the time I'll be out in the Atlantic, but I'll be close to the shore. I'll be having to go out to the Atlantic a little bit and then cut back into the Intracoastal. It's not gonna be like I'll be, a mile out or whatever. I'll be close by, and most of the time I'll be in the Intracoastal, which is, not a wide waterway. I mean, at some parts it gets wide and it opens up into bays and stuff, but for the most part it's not open water. I'll be close to the shoreline of the Intracoastal, so it's not like I'll be, canoeing to the UK or whatever. Craig Cash asks, how are you gonna eat and sleep? I'm going to eat by stockpiling food in cities that I visit along the way. I'll keep it in my canoe and I'll just be eating like that. I'll also be fishing. I don't expect my fishing to yield much food. Frankly, honestly, don't know what I'm doing. It's gonna be a learning experience. And then Austin Pabian asks, how and when will you sleep? Austin, how I'll sleep? I'm gonna close my eyes and then, no, I'm just kidding. How I'm gonna sleep in a tent. I'm going to camp out. I'll sleep at night, after canoeing, and I'm setting up my tent. Miguel Ferreira asks, how are you planning to fund everyday life, and how do you think you'll adjust to your canoeing life? I am a freelance graphic designer, or I work from my computer. Along the way, I'll be cutting into towns, cities. Luckily, on the Intracoastal Waterway, there's a lot of cities, especially on the East Coast. I'll just go into cafes like I usually do when I travel, work from cafes, make some money that way. How do you think you'll adjust to your canoeing life? I expect I'll really start hitting my stride after 3 weeks. I think the first 3 weeks I'll be definitely pacing myself, getting used to it. I'll be building a muscle from paddling. I'll have a routine probably carved out by that time. So yeah, that's how I'll adjust to my canoeing life. Dakota Gregory asks, is there a deeper personal reason for this trip, or simply for the adventure? When I hitchhiked across the USA, I wanted to prove to myself and others that people are trustworthy and that you can essentially get across the nation by relying on strangers. This time around, I guess it is more personal, it's really just a challenge to myself. I actually wanted to hitchhike to Mexico from New York City, but I realized, I know I could do that. This time around, canoeing to Mexico, frankly, I don't know if I can pull this off, and I think that's important because a challenge is something you overcome that you think you can't do from the start. So if I'm able to get to Mexico via canoe, I'm gonna be that much better for it. John Shaw asks, what are you gonna do if a hurricane is coming? This is a great question. Hurricane season is coming up. If a hurricane comes here, I'll give you a little plan for what I'm going to do. I will try to get near a closest town. Luckily, along the eastern seaboard, like I said, in the Gulf, there's a lot of towns. I will literally knock on doors and ask people if I could keep my canoe in their garage. That's one thing that would be an issue with the wind and hurricanes and stuff. I would either have to put it in an enclosed area, or I would have to tie it up somehow really well. I would rather just ask people. I don't have any problem with that. Then I would move into a city center, maybe stay, couch surf, maybe stay at someone's place, whatever, I would figure it out. Luckily with the hurricane, you have some time to prepare. From Patty Doyle, why did you choose to travel in such solitude this time around, in contrast to hitchhiking, which is so social in comparison? That's very true. There's gonna be a lot of times when I'm alone, you know, a lot more than hitchhiking. You know, I'll just have to deal with that, and that's not a big deal to me. The thing with me and with my adventures and my traveling, I really like to inject social aspects into it, no matter what it is, and I'm going to do that. I'm gonna highlight the people that I meet along the way. I'll be meeting a lot of people. After solo travel for a year and going through 31 new cities and 3 new countries in a year, you tend to get really good at meeting people and talking to strangers. No one's a stranger anymore. So I really want to highlight that in this journey. Burston Schroeder asks, have you mapped out your entire journey and do you plan to encounter any dangerous river terrain? I have mapped out my entire journey in a general sense. I haven't gone in and really dived deep into the specifics of the journey and the route. With hitchhiking across the USA, it's quite easy to plan because you just follow interstates. It's just one way or the other. Whereas this, I could go down a river or a part of the Intracoastal and be in a dead end. So I have to dive really deep in and planning out like kind of step by step. And along with that, during the journey, I'll be making a lot of corrections in the moment. Dangerous river terrain? Possibly. It's definitely a possibility, and I think I will encounter dangerous river terrain. I don't think it's going to be anything too crazy, especially in the Intracoastal. You know, there'll be boat wakes. The Intracoastal is pretty mild-mannered in terms of conditions. I'm not going to go out in bad conditions, bad weather conditions. I'm definitely making the right precautions to be prepared for that. Alex Valandia asks, will you allow guests to come out and travel alongside you for a couple days? Yes, absolutely. I've already gotten some guys that want to join. Anyone else who wants to join along, you can, if you have a canoe or a kayak or you want to meet me along the coast and just say what's up, definitely follow my Instagram at True Transient, my Snapchat, Trick Daley. Let me know if you want to make that happen in the comments. This is the last one. Anthony Hackett, if a tree falls in the forest and nobody is around to hear it, have you accepted the fact that you're going to be wiping your ass with said tree's leaves? Yes. Thanks for all your questions, guys. I really enjoyed that. If you have any more questions, comment below. If you'd like to help me get further down the river, consider donating through my GoFundMe page right here. The link is also in the description. So I'm selling stickers and t-shirts and personal shout outs. Go to that page. You'll find the route as well and more info about the trip. Thank you guys for watching. Thumbs up.